It's week 2 of the NFL. And up next is Devondre Campbell, who had a strong showing last week with an 8-tackle game. It's the Falcons and the Saints. All that and more coming up next.
Well, folks, it is always a celebration here in New Orleans, and we are just outside of the Hoppin' French Quarter at the Caesars Superdome. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, you look at this Saints team as they enter play. They've been buoyed by getting 2 home games right at the start, and they come off a good victory in week 1.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
The first game's out of the way. Time to buckle down for the long season ahead, and we're off in week 2. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. And a glance at the tall signal caller, standing 6'6".
And he was terrific in the opener through 3 touchdown passes, and make no mistake about it, he was eager to get right back out and do it again. So I think we'll see him try to test his secondary quite a bit as this game goes on.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Throw to the right, caught by Dulcich. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards on the gain. A great start for this offense.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
They'll run for the first time with Michael Carter. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. This defense for the Saints, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers, 3 of them in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out.
On 4th down, Matt Araiza is sent on to punt. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They will be led out by the former Heisman Trophy winner back in 2016. Always a handful to contain, Lamar Jackson. So the drive's going to start with Pollard, and he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down. The rushing numbers for Pollard last week, 14 carries, 53 yards.
It's a pretty mediocre week for him on the ground. Certainly a boon to his offense if he can get a little more output on his touches this week. He should get some more early carries as his team tries to get him into a rhythm.
They go play action with Jackson. Open man downfield is Waddle. He's got it. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 27 yards there, a 1st down. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone because eventually you're going to run into their territory. and that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two. They'll run left with Pollard. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31.
A 1-yard gain could look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4. Now a give here to Pollard. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold him to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. So retract the yardage and retract the touchdown.
And retract the chunk play. Big strike there to get the touchdown. Now they've got to take it back and see if they've got another one still in their arsenal.
From the gun, it's Jackson. Open man is Waddle, complete. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Now Jackson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, picks it. And the Falcons are going to get it back here just shy of the 20.
Definitely not the ideal time to see that mistake, partner, because this is still a one-possession game, and that's at least a field goal that just vanished with that turnover. Now, pressure's on defensively to prevent that pick from turning into points for the other side.
So for the second time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them, but I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up the 3rd down. Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Devin Bush in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down. And here's Matt Ariza now. And taken right on the 30. It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. A big mistake last time they were on the field, tossing that interception inside the red zone and really taking away what had been a pretty successful drive up to that point.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any question about it. As they head out on the field for this drive, that whole offensive unit is just thinking redemption. You know, they moved it really well, didn't pay it off. This time, they want to make sure that ball ends up in the end zone, and they're the ones possessing it.
Khalid Kareem. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. And for the Falcons, 5 men in the secondary, now on 3rd. Now it's Jackson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. And the Falcons are going to take possession of the football. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Down at the 25.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
2nd and 6. And it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And the Saints will take over here at their own 12-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
After the interception, here's Jackson. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. They got 29 yards that time.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
He's got a man complete. A big-time play there for New Orleans. And even 40 yards. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Ready for the 2nd quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
All about the offense so far this drive, putting something sustained together. But the defense, they responded on that play. 2nd and manageable became 3rd and long. The drive marching to the end zone is
touchdown, Saints. Marquise Brown, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Saints post the first points in the ballgame as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter.
And that's another route the defenders would vote to take out of the game. Without a doubt, you're just trying to move everybody in one direction. And when it's a running back or another receiver, as they sit that ball on the sideline, you got a problem on your hands.
The defenders hate it there. It happened, and it resulted in a touchdown. Extra point by Butker is on target. And it's now a 7-0 game. That time a 6-play drive. And it's Hollywood Marquise Brown who finishes it off with the touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way, because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
Yeah, and still in the first half here, a long way to go.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Back to throw. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. Now this offense hoping to avoid the 0-2 start. Now they trail, but they've got a 1st and 10 here. Back to throw here. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. Here's 2nd and a yard. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And this is it. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. Thankfully for the offense, a fortuitous bounce there on the fumble goes out of bounds because they're down here in the red zone. You don't want to lose one there.
You don't want to lose one, and the best part, because it went out of bounds, they retain possession, still have an opportunity to put points on the board.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
From the 5, 2nd and 4. They'll set up a throw. Touchdown, Falcons! Kiki QT, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Falcons are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. But I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Jackson now. His throw incomplete.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
He's been a one-man wrecking crew these last couple of plays. This time 18 more and a 1st down.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. To throw again is Jackson. Outright, he finds Tolbert. And they move this all the way down to the 9. A really nice gain of 25 yards. And Charles, of interest here, that last throw is going to put him over 20,000 yards passing for his career. That's not a bad number.
You're exactly right about that. And even though it's nowhere near the top of the leaderboard, because when you think about it, Brady and Breeze, they've done that 4 times over. But when you hit 20,000, Let's face it, only a little over 100 guys have ever done that in the NFL. It's worthy of some applause.
And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on third, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that second down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say
touchdown! A great play there. His first NFL reception goes for 6. And the Saints have taken the lead. CD for them. This has just been an offensive explosion here in the second quarter.
Yeah, held scoreless in the first quarter. Now they find the end zone again here in the second. Sometimes you just have to have some patience. A lot of people think it's always an adjustment. You have to change what you're doing. Sometimes you just have to do your game plan just a little bit better. And I think that's part of what we're seeing here.
Extra point by Butker is on target. And that makes the score 14-7. So the drive goes 75 yards, 10 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Their quarterback in this offense heading back out to the field. He had the touchdown pass on their previous drive, and they'll search for another score as they begin here with a 1st and 10. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He'll drop that down to Carter underneath. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter, 14-7. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. 2nd and 5. Finds Dulcich out left side. First down now, but the clock continues to move. They're going to look to throw. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
And a lot of being a defender is being able to learn what you can and can't get away with when in man coverage. In this case, he got away with it and helped pop that ball free.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. This one hauled in, and again, it's Robinson. And he's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
When teams practice their plays during the week, they're hoping that it's going to pay off on game day. So it sure has to feel good for them when they hit them during a game, and they hit that one there for big yardage.
He'll dump this off to Carter, complete. And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll look to throw again. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
The Saints offense going to head out now late in this first half as they take over with exactly 1 minute to go here before intermission. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. It's caught. Tolbert And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down. Jackson. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
To throw again on second down. Jackson. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's got his man, Marquise Brown. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 35. Now it's Jackson. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
Oh, for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted. Picked up by Richie Grant. There he goes left side. Past the 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. Charles, I'm looking at you, and understandably your mouth is wide open in disbelief. What were they thinking?
That's going to be one of the great mysteries, but I do know this. When they went out on offense, I will guarantee they told them, don't just make anticipatory throws. Make sure you see it before you throw it. Didn't happen here.
Trying to protect that lead, and now they gave it up. Here's Bass now for the extra point. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. And the Saints going to go on offense one final time in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
This will be caught by Brown. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense.
A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Throwing is Jackson. And he'll let this one go deep for Chark. They've got his man complete. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. Here's Jackson. And they're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. Trying to defend the out route there, got the PI call.
And you know what's difficult about that one is sometimes you want to make the undercut move and go for the football, and other times just want to hang on the upfield shoulder and make the tackle. I think he got caught in between, and created a foul.
Now here's Pollard. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. So we have reached halftime now with the visiting Falcons out on top. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman. Everyone's eager to resume play here in this Week 2 contest, so we push right through halftime and back at it for the start of quarter 3. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. And he's got to be wondering what happened in that first half. 3 interceptions, very uncharacteristic.
And even the great ones go through phases like this, like what we just saw. And most of them, they have such a mental capacity.
And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack. Well, Lamar Jackson, for all the talents of escaping pressure that he possesses, he was helpless to do much of anything there. He had no chance. Throwing on 2nd and long. Jackson. And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on first down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. And this one incomplete. And another throw that really could have been, maybe should have been intercepted. That would have been number 4. Instead, it's 4th down. Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away. They juked him. It'll be a 41-yard punt. Give him 5 on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. So we get set to start this 3rd quarter. Here's the Falcons offense now. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. 2nd and 9 now. And his throw is incomplete.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A gain of 32 that time. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Back to throw again. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Blowing that play up, Roquan Smith as he gets the sack.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. 2nd and long. He'll drop it, and it's out. He put it on the carpet. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble. The good news, they kept the ball. Bad news, it's 3rd and long. He'll drop to throw. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. Calling a loss of 2 there on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. The kick by Bass is good. But now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about.
Foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
So they'll go ahead and accept the penalty. The roughing the kicker called on 4th down. What a big break. Leads to a 1st and 10. Caught Carter straight ahead.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. Now back to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect him to have more completions to him in this game.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
The frustration evident there because he couldn't find anyone on 3rd down, and he left no doubt that he was throwing that one away.
The kick by Bass is good.
And they stretch the lead to 6. It's 20-14 now.
So it was a 3-point lead at halftime, and they double that with a field goal here.
And I think defensively, you've got to be okay with that because you've kept this game within a touchdown. Your hope is that you've inspired your offense to put a drive together, get in the end zone themselves, and hopefully get you the lead.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Now the Saints coming back out ready to go for this next drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Falcons are going to take over here up near the 40. Certainly not his best throw that time, and not a good time to make it, Charles, when they were in nickel with 5 defensive backs on the field.
And that's exactly why you have those 5 DBs out there. You want extra speed on the field, guys who have ball skills and understand what the passing game can do, and gives them a chance to react and make a play on the football, and they take one of those away.
Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Another run on 2nd down with Carter.
That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
And he is going to have a Falcons 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field. Defensively, make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
They'll look to throw here. Looking left side, Andrews with it complete. And this is going to be another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Saints 21. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Roquan Smith able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. They'll look to throw. And he will find Ridley. That's complete. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. They'll set up a throw.
Again to Calvin Ridley, and he's got it once more.
Touchdown, Falcons! Calvin Ridley, a 16-yard touchdown.
And the Falcons are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter.
Looking to throw. And he's got it. So the try for 2 successful. And that bumps their lead up even further. And, of course, on the 2-point try, had the option to run or pass. They pass it there, and it works.
Felt pretty straightforward, didn't it? An open receiver, ball's put on him, 2 points for them.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that one not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time is now run out on this third quarter of play. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Saints who hold the football, but they're trailing as we begin the fourth quarter of play. So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Shotgun handoff to Brown here. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. On 3rd down, Jackson. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th.
It has been a rough afternoon for him trying to get rid of the football. See, that's now 5 sacks.
How'd you like to be the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach trying to come up with an answer for this pass rush? What blocking assignments do you change? Can guys play a little bit better? And we're seeing the end result on the scoreboard. Long day in the pocket for their quarterback.
Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now.
That's good for the Saints. First down.
Jackson now. And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI.
Defense.
Well, CD, that helps the home team as they try to erase this deficit. Give them the penalty for pass interference on the defense.
Yeah, and they certainly haven't been happy with what they've seen so far, have they? They're certainly hoping that that call now might get the fans back into this one.
Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete.
And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
From just shy of midfield, Jackson.
And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and it's going to be a 1st down. Well done. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
Again, Jackson. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
It sort of looks like they stopped some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
This is caught. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A very solid gain of 27.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far.
And the Saints have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. Extra point by Butker is on target.
And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. first down. Here's Butker on to kick it away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
2nd and 11. And he'll find QT on the right side complete. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Atlanta.
And partner, they're locked in man coverage out left and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. He's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
On 1st and 10, it's Carter. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 40 yards on the ground for him so far. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. Carter will try the right side. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. And now defensively they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Carter once more. Back-to-back 2-yard losses, and that sets up a tough 3rd and 14. And this defense here going to burn their second timeout. And you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. He'll look to throw. And he's taken down here by the Saints. And now here comes the 3rd of their timeouts defensively. So they'll be left with only the 2-minute warning to stop it from here on out. The Falcons send out their punter as he's on here to punt it away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And it's taken in at the 9. A punt of 46, a return of 5. And the Saints will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. So Lamar Jackson in the offense. Down 28-21, 2:09 to play. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I think we were both wondering if we were going to see them try and push it deep downfield, facing a one-possession deficit late, and they certainly didn't disappoint. They gave it an effort.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. From the gun, Jackson. And that's complete to Brown. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. We've got a one-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. An inside give, Brown. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Jackson to throw. That's into the hands of Tolbert. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. And that'll be incomplete as it's knocked away. But a penalty flag is down. So who's this going to be on? Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
Here's Jackson.
This is caught. It's Brown.
And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
Jackson trying to hustle his unit up quickly to the line of scrimmage. This is Brown going up the middle. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door. Now a shotgun handoff to Pollard. And yes, he's into the end zone. So they get the late score they needed. And now the extra point can tie this thing up in the final minute.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
Butker on for the PAT. And no sweat, he puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. So that drives 7 plays in length. And the touchdown and PAT mean we are tied here in the final minute of play. So right back to square one, tied at 28 as he kicks it away.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here.
And Charles, obviously not much time left. I'm curious to see if there's enough for them to get into field goal range and try to win this thing.
And partner, you and I both know the save calls to kneel and just take it into overtime. But it's also very tough to pass up a chance to win it right now as well. But remember, if you do attempt that, it's got to be a big play downfield and still leave yourself enough time to get your field goal unit out there and kick for the win.
Final whistle blows, and we need some extra time here to decide who will be the victor.
60 minutes, just not enough some days to decide who's going to win the game.
It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So possession in overtime first goes to the Atlanta Falcons, and we are back underway. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. Well, they fought hard to reach this point, Charles, and now what an opportunity. They've got the ball first, a chance to take this overtime win away from the hostile crowd.
And you know, as the quarterback steps into the huddle, the first thing he's telling his team is, remember, we need 6, not 3. So we don't need a good drive. We need a great drive. And this is what they've been planning for. It's time to execute and take it downfield, even against all these odds.
No surprise there. Chase Young wrecks that play with a sack.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Yeah, the Saints signal for another timeout. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime.
On 2nd down, a run with Carter.
And a pretty little juke move there on a nice game.
49 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Caught the defense off guard there a bit on 2nd and long, but now you still have to deal with 3rd and long.
Yeah, you do, but you feel pretty good about the last play, don't you? And maybe it gives you a little bit of confidence dialing up the next one, that maybe your team will believe in it when you send it in.
And he will find Ridley on the left side. It'll go as a gain of 4. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. The defense does its job. Now they're going to get the ball here in overtime with a chance to win it.
Major league kudos to them because to get the ball back in this spot, everything was on them. They had to happen, and they pulled it off. They'll get it back for their offense with a chance to win.
The Falcons send out their punter on for a very important punt here in overtime. A big kick, 50 yards that time with a return of 4.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here.
Well, their defense did the job, got off the field without giving up any points. And now, Charles, all they need here is a field goal and they get the victory.
Yeah, and this is the way I love overtime. I'm one of those really, really old school guys that like sudden death right from the beginning. Well, we've got it now because any points wins the game. On defense, get a safety, a pick 6, fumble return, you can win it as well. So I'm really looking forward to this series and see how both sides play it.
They go play action with Jackson out to his left. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. 23 yards on the play. He's padding his already great numbers here in overtime. More importantly, though, moving his guys downfield.
And I think that's exactly what's going through his head right now. Moving them downfield, putting them in a position to win the game. The stats, that's for the fantasy guys. I know they're enjoying that show.
Tackle made there by Matt Milano. I don't want to overhype it, but this is a big early season game, especially an overtime win. That could give you a big boost going forward in the season.
It certainly can, and I don't think you're overhyping it because cliches go out the window when you start to play overtime. And you're right, the winner of this game now, that's an extra boost moving forward, and it actually is an extra hurt for the team that loses because normally you shake it off, but in this situation, it lingers a little bit longer.
5 men in the secondary now for the Falcons on 3rd down. Here's Pollard again. And he's going to get this to about the 20, but that is well short of what he needed. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. Everything right now resting on the right foot of Harrison Butker. And now we're going to get a timeout called by the defense as they'll burn their final one here and let that kicker stay out and think about it a bit more. And now it all rests on the right foot of their kicker. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That's their 2nd and last timeout here in the overtime session. We'll be back. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. And Bourbon Street, it'll be alive tonight. The Saints have won it.
That was an excellent come-from-behind victory, Charles, especially there in the 4th quarter. Both offense and defense were clicking. They're going to feel good about this one.
Boy, are they ever, because the deficit they faced certainly wasn't small. They obviously did not give up on that one, and in the end, how about that come-from-behind victory? They'll cherish this one for a while.
So for New Orleans, they used a favorable early schedule to their advantage as they move to 2-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the New York Giants. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Carolina Panthers.